GH1 OB van has been one of the best vans I've used personally in this country. It runs a system where we are able to run on Dante to be able to do our broadcast mixed well also from this van.
I've used this OB van for quite a number of big productions, i.e. 3 music awards, the late President Rollis' state funeral, Emmys Africa Awards, and a number of them.
My experience with the GH1 van has been the state of the art equipment they have. Personal experience is you can use it for both indoor and outdoor, all events, conferencing, like anything you need a van to work for you, GH1 provides it. My
experience with the van has been very good. Why? Because it has a number of facilities that I may not get in other vans. You know, the van has a very wide bench that can accommodate all my technical crew, ICCU, switcher, graphics, CG, and all of that. And then it also has a studio, a green room studio that comes with TriCaster. So if you want somebody to do commentary on a live event, you can put that presenter who's in that studio as well and get that running.
To give an experience to our audience, we're also watching on TVs and online. Work with an Axo technology system, which makes your video mixing with Panasonic cameras, like a lot of other stuff in terms of content you need to get also for your live broadcasts.
I prefer the GH1 van to a lot of other vans I've used, or even doing my own setup on a tabletop setup. Because on a production you see a number of people in the van. And so if you have a very small van, it means that it's going to be choked, and that will affect the creativity as well. The price has been discounted as well to accommodate varied budgets. And so no matter the budget you have, I understand you can have the track and do business with it.
It looks huge, but very affordable. Cost is really, really affordable. My experience with it, EMI Awards last year, super excellent. Try it, call them, and I'm going to give you the best of price. Really affordable.
It's Monday, the 19th day of May 2025. Good morning to you. I missed you. I missed you so much. I know you missed me too, but it's good to be back. I took a little time away. I needed to do a few personal things, but it's good to be back. I feel refreshed. I feel relaxed. I'm here to serve you nothing but sizzling breakfast. And thank you very much to my able brother, Joshua Kojo of holding the fort while I was away on a personal assignment, but it's good to be back, like I said. Let me start with our quote of the day. A lot of things have happened. Before I bring in the quote of the day, a lot of things happened over the weekend. It's been quite an eventful weekend. The floods didn't spare us. Mpox didn't spare us. The FDA is up against persons who are selling unauthorized drinks. And then death also didn't spare us. Let me start with the death of prolific Ghanaian highlife act, Kwaku Dia, popularly known as Dada KD. A lot of us love him. A lot of us love his songs. Unfortunately, he passed on last Friday. It was quite sad. His children and everybody to the music industry, to everybody that loved him, to everybody that enjoyed his songs, all his fans, we say condolences. He obviously was battling something that he could never talk about. He talked about depression, but the real issues he was dealing with, he could never talk about. We pray that his soul finds eternal rest. Kwakudia, we say rest in peace. One of his songs that I personally love, Minsaida. I love Fatia Fatankoma. Listen, today we're here, tomorrow we're not. Let's love each other. It's one thing that I learned while I was away, that learn to forgive people. Sometimes it's so difficult, but learn to forgive people. And in so doing, you learn to forgive yourself. Your heart becomes light other than being heavy. So that's it. Dada KD Kwekudia is no more with us. And then talking about issues that claim lives, Mpox is still with us. We've recorded 2 new cases of Mpox. The Ghana Health Service has issued a communique to that effect. Those of you who go about indiscriminately kissing people, please desist from it. You want to ensure that ensure safety measures are all in place every now and then, because the country is recorded. We just dealt with the rise of cholera cases. Even though we're still not out of the woods, we've been able to contain, and now we have Mpox. So it means that everybody out there needs to observe safety measures. And then the FDA has also been up in arms against persons who are dealing with a certain orange-flavored liquor. It's called Jupiter 1990. And the FDA says it is unsafe for consumption. If you ever see Jupiter 1990, an orange-flavored liquor, it is unsafe for consumption. So please be on alert. The FDA is warning you over the period. Anytime the FDA finds something unwholesome for public consumption, it alerts us. So this is one of them. So please, and please again, do stay alert. Now, for a country that is close to 70 years of independence, for a country that spends millions of cedis and millions of dollars on ensuring that we have a resilient community, we're still recording flood situations. Homes are still being destroyed. Properties worth thousands, going into millions, are still being destroyed as a result of floods. Yesterday, the rains came in torrents, and we in Accra were not spared. A lot of people have lost property because of the floods. Are these mere rhetorics that we still sing? Every time it rains, we record floods. Every time it rains, people are losing property. Every time it rains, sometimes we lose lives. Do we ever learn? Do we ever get to do things right to ourselves as a country? I am told that when it started raining yesterday, some around the Odona area, some people were now throwing their garbage into the drain. Are we serious as a country? In as much as governments who have to do a lot, how many gutters have been desilted? How many times do you drop garbage in gutters? It's a collective thing. Why are we doing this to ourselves? And for governments, I don't want to talk about whether previous government or current government in, government out. You are all to blame. And the current government, this is sitting on your shoulders. If nothing is done about it, then you have equally failed. If we say others have failed, and you are, well, let's say 5 months in government, you knew about the rains. We know that every time, at this particular time of the year, we record rains, and yet we pay lip service to the ordinary Ghanaian. The ordinary Ghanaian who will go and queue under the sun to vote for you, yet we're constantly paying lip service to them. The onus lies on you, this current administration. We do not want to continue recording flood situation, losing lives and property. Close to 70 years of independence. Are we not ashamed as a people that of all the things that we have to worry our heads over, we're still worrying over flooding? Anyway, let me motivate you this morning. Our quote of the day is by Steve Jobs, who says, the only way to do great work is to love what you do. And so whatever it is that you do, make sure that you love it. Don't just get up and say, oh, I'm going out there because I need to go and earn my keep. Ensure that you love what you do. That is the only way you will enjoy it. That is the only way you find fulfillment. That is the only way you find satisfaction and give of your utmost best at what you do. Because I love you, I am back here to serve you breakfast. Let's bring you our word of the day to help you improve your English language writing and, of course, speaking.
Today's word is D-E-L-U-G-E, deluge. It can function as a noun and a verb. In this example, it is functioning as a noun. A deluge is a very large amount of rain or water. Let's exemplify it. Last night's deluge has caused heavy traffic this morning.
Okay, so you say fasho ukoto dream. Like former President Rawlings will say ukotoje. Yeah, so that's our word of the day. You know that every morning here on the show we help you improve your English language speaking, especially those of you who speak Brofuboni mo atugubafuano. This is for you. Kind Kissi, Nirain. Let me bring you our video of the day. Let me pump you up. I know it's a cold morning. You're struggling to get out of bed. I know, I understand. Let me pump you up.
GH1 OB van has been one of the best vans I've used personally in this country. It runs a system where we are able to run on Dante to be able to do our broadcast mixed well also from this van.
I've used this OB van for quite a number of big productions, i.e. 3 music awards, the late President Rawlings' state funeral, Emmys Africa Awards, and a number of them.
My experience with the GH1 van has been the state of the art equipment they have. Personal experience is you can use it for both indoor and outdoor, all events, conferencing, like anything you need a van to work for you, GH1 provides it. My experience with the van has been very good. Why? Because it has a number of facilities that I may not get in other vans. You know, the van has a very wide bench that can accommodate all my technical crew. ICC, switcher, graphics, CG, and all of that. And then it also has a studio, a green room studio that comes with TriCaster. So if you want somebody to do commentary on a live event, you can put that presenter or host in that studio as well and get that running. To give an experience to our audience, we're also watching on TVs and online. Work with an Exo technology system, which makes your video mixing with Panasonic cameras, like a lot of other stuff in terms of content you need to get also for your live broadcasts. I prefer the GH1 van to a lot of other vans I've used or even
doing my own setup on a tabletop setup. Because on a production, you see a number of people in the van. And so if you have a very small van, it means that it's going to be choked, and that will affect the creativity as well. The price has been discounted as well to accommodate varied budgets. And so no matter the budget you have, I understand you can have the truck and do business with it.
It looks huge, but very affordable. Cost is really, really affordable. My experience with it, EMI Awards last year, super excellent. Try it, call them, and I'm going to give you the best of price. Really affordable.
Hamilton with the doing of the Lord. That's our video of the day. Let's head to the courts. A lot is happening. So Captain has joined me in studio. Captain?
Limo!
I know, Limo is back.
Limo is back. Like somebody will say, leave no be pension. But how was your leave days?
Well, it was not restful.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I know.
It was not restful at all. I need rest. So.
I'm sure that it was yesterday when it dawned on you that you will come into work today that you realized that, Charlie, I need more time.
I definitely do. But I think I missed all of you.
Yeah, we missed you. We missed you.
So it's good to be back.
Good to have you back.
I know.
Yes, good to have you back again.
Well, what's up in court?
Lily, you remember the last time? I'm sure that the very last time we had a conversation before you went on leave, we were talking about Western Togoland.
Yes.
I remember
Papa V.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I remember I asked you how many WhatsApp groups.
Yes, that I belong
absolutely.
to. Now I'm very careful. You know, after the conversation, I become very careful.
Yes.
Of WhatsApp groups that I belong
you find
to.
yourself on all of them. So you can be on the platform regardless of whether you are active or not. You know, some people use the platform groups, some use it as a library, others are very active. In fact, in all platforms, when you find yourself, there are those various categories. Those who comment on some specific issues, those who are active virtually every day, and those who are there, they are just reading. Sometimes you are even there, you don't even know what is happening. You just go there, enter, click, flip, because you've seen a lot of notifications and all of that. So last time, when we discussed one of the issues, I made mention about the fact that some of the accused persons were arrested by dint of the fact that they were found on specific platforms. Another set, on Friday, Justice Marie Louise Simmons made a ruling on the submission of no case. And a group of 7, initially there were 7, charged for being members of prohibited organization, i.e. Western Togoland Restoration Front, Homeland Steady Group, where Papa V comes in, the late Papa V comes in, the man who stood tall and said, look, that part of Ghana should not be part of Ghana. We want to be independent. And he started that process and all of that. And
modern day Nkuma.
And I remember a couple of times when he was in court, he had to be aid into the premise. It was watchable, but you could see that he's a Luther chairman. You know those people. It reminded me of a story that I did that a 73-year-old professor led an Aluta when they demolished a building and all of that. He was remanded and all of that. So in respect of this case, Friday, initially the 7, 2 of them were let go. One went to plead under plea bargaining. He was fined, and prosecution discharged the other. So they were left with 5. Yesterday, at the end of on Friday, at the end of prosecution's case, called their witnesses, and the court having made a ruling or a determination, or say made the decision that out of the 5, 3 of them ought not to be in court, ought not to respond to the charges being absolutely, because prosecution could not adduce evidence to connect them with the crime. And as you can see on your screen, I call them the Trinity, the 3 of them, 1, 2, 3. So that was when they were acquitted and discharged, and that was a Friday, so probably a good Friday for them. So as you see, and then they had support in there, very beautiful for them. It's a great relief at that particular point in time. But Lily, I have been engaging these 3. Let's hear from them one after the other.
Always my prayers to God that the case have been followed by 5 years now, and I'm not have anything against this thing. We have done no nothing, even call Western Togoland, but they just shocked me. I'm meeting from a side. I'm a construction worker. So just attacked me, shocked me. Even right now, my leg is not working. Up to now, this leg is not working. Okay. Now, can't put him for jail. 3.5 years. Can't give him bail up to today. Before they are giving me, say they are leaving me that they say they give me freedom. I'm so happy to have my freedom. But what I've gone through for 5 good years now. Even now, yeah, I'm standing now. I don't know where my family are now.
Oh, you don't know where your family is?
My wife left me, packed my everything in my house, and took it away.
Oh, wow.
So I can't find my wife, I can't find any one of my children. I have 3 children, 2 girls, 1 boy. I don't know where the place they are now.
Okay.
And today they are giving me freedom, so I'm good.
Oh, I'm so much happy because I've suffered for more than 5 years now. Coming to court here and there, and today I have been acquitted and discharged. I'm so much happy. But they said I was in platform. I was added to a platform, and then we don't do anything in the platform. That is all my charges.
Please, I'm very, very sure.
How are you shocked?
Because this issue, it came to me. The police, they come with their coat. I mean, my little kiosk. Before they come, by forcefully arrested me for that. And they have beaten me roughly. They beat me anyhow they like it. But by grace of God, I'm very, very happy that today I am free.
Okay.
So Lily, here you are, 3 of them, different accounts.
That's quite
so it's been 5 years for them since they were arrested, and it took 5
I'll just
years.
be there. Somebody asked me to a WhatsApp platform, and the next minute I've been picked up.
Absolutely.
Hey.
So that is why you have to be very cautious with the kind of thing. This social media can bring an issue to you. At the time that they were found that they have done nothing wrong, it's 5 years, 5 solid years. You can imagine and all of that. And the first interviewer says that he doesn't even know where his wife, children are, because the wife packed out the children. He doesn't know where they are.
All over again.
And it's so painful and all of that. So all this we do just so you also learn something from. If you belong to groups, if you are in certain platforms that you think that you are not too clear, you don't have any alignment, I think the best thing is that you exit quietly. And then else, once they come after you, and then you are linked to the platform, whether willingly or unwillingly, or whether you knew about it or not. But Lily, There were 5. 3 have been let go, but 2 of them, the court said there is an issue for them to answer. Prosecution
what are these issues?
Was able to prove that they belong to a prohibited organization, to say Western Togoland Restoration Fund, because they found certain items on them, which for them, the court want to understand why those exhibits came to their possession and all of that. It doesn't mean that they are guilty. The court then want to understand from them also, then at the end, the way the 2 evidence, and the court will look at the law, what the law says, and then come to or deliver a judgment. In fact, in respect of this case, the maximum is 5 years custodial sentence. So from 1 to 5 years, the court can also decide to fine you. And like I've mentioned so many times, a lot of the cases have found. There are so many branches. This is about the 5th set or 6th. 1 in Criminal Court 4, some Criminal Court 3, and this one is in Criminal Court 2. Criminal Court 4, Justice Comfort Asiame. Criminal Court 3, Justice Mary Mami Kweyenzu. Criminal Court 2, Justice Marie Louise Simon. So they've been spread across and all of that. But some are in for 5 years, some 3 years, some 2, some both. A fine and a custodial sentence and all of that. So for them, good news for them. At least after 5 years, they'll have their life back and all of that.
They get to go home
so
and heave a sigh of relief. Oof.
Absolutely.
Anyway, what else happened in court?
Yes. Madam Sisi mates. Yes. The stolen funds from the home of Madam Sisi, the former sanitation minister, and the husband, Daniel Osei-Kuffour. The trial is still ongoing. The third prosecution witness is in the box, that is Madam Sisi herself.
Oh, I see.
Yes, the first was the husband, Daniel Osei-Kuffour. He's come, testify, cross-examined by all the accused persons. He has been discharged. He brought in one of his drivers, testified, cross-examined, and he's been discharged. Now, is the turn of Madam Sisi. She has also testified, and now the accused persons are subjecting her to cross-examination, to scrutiny. They are testing you on your evidence before the court. On Friday, she was present in court, and this first maid, Sarah J., who she made the point that has served her for 5 years, was the one that subjected her to cross-examination, and that was done by her lawyers. And in fact, the concluding part of that cross-examination was Madam Sisi able to bring to the court receipts of all the items, the jewelries, the clothes, the bags that she alleged that were stolen. In fact, with the prices that were attached to each of them, she able to bring that. And her response was to the effect that these are things that I've been buying not at a go. I've been doing that for the past 30 years. So it's practically impossible for me to bring a receipt showing all these things and all of that. So at the conclusion of Sarah Ej's cross-examination, the case has been adjourned for the other accused persons to also take their turn. There are 7 of them, including Sarah Patient Butcher is the first accused, and we are told that was with Madam Sisi for a little over a year and a half. A little over 2 years in all of that, when Sarah Ej left because she was pregnant, and then she recommended or Patient Butcher was recommended, and the other accused person, ex-boyfriend of Patient Butcher, the current boyfriend of Patient Butcher, and then couple as well, Christiana H. and then Joe Pomery. The two they are as you can see on your screen, one of the sessions when they were leaving the premises of the court. So this case will come out again on Thursday, 22nd of June, for further cross-examination of Madam Sisi. So on Friday, she was grilled by one of her maids, Sarah Ej.
Interesting development, huh?
Yes.
Anyway, Atuisian was also back in court.
Yes, many would have thought that, why are we back in court again? Why
after he'd been sentenced.
Absolutely. Why is Atuisian back in court yesterday? You know, the law is the law, and the law works with procedures and processes and all of that.
Absolutely.
So for those who remember, December 13, 2023, William Atuisian was sentenced to 15 years in prison. This was after he has entered into an agreement with the state by way of activating Section 35 of the Court Act, which allows an accused person to enter into negotiation with the state and say that, yes, I'll pay the amount with compensation so that they do not go to jail. Now, Justice Eric Bafo, who dealt with the issue, gave him a plan. In fact, he agreed with the prosecution, and the court gave a roadmap, pay it in tranches. And before, the amount in question was 90 million. And before the court took the decision, she had already paid 30 million with a balance of 60 to be paid. So the court structured it within a year, 2020. And the court is saying that if he reneges on paying, he should be arrested, brought back to the court, and the court will pose a custodial sentence on him. Within the time frame given by the court, he could not pay. He paid about 7-8 million. The balance he could not pay. Judge Richeba, for at the point, he said that at least pay the first tranche. Then the court can look at the last two tranches that you are supposed to pay. He could not. But one of the reasons that he cited or he assigned to he not be able to pay that money was the fact that his passport was seized by the court, and so he could not travel out to go and meet with his business partners to be able to trade and get some monies from them. And in the local scene here, the economic situation financially was tough for everybody. So these are the issues that made it impossible for him to raise the amount in question as at that time. But he's been in custody. As at the time that he was in custody, an amount of 37 million has been paid. He makes the point that even in custody, he's still paying to the point that 1.7 million has been paid in addition to what has been paid already. So in totality of all of that, he makes the point that he has paid at least 43 million cedis out of the 90 to the state. And the court, looking at the circumstances, he was charged together with the others, conspiracy and all of that. So if the others were acquitted and discharged, he has been sentenced or found guilty on all those counts. What happened to the conspiracy charges that the others were acquitted? Absolutely acquitted, because one person cannot conspire. It was an issue that he raised on Friday when the issue of bail came out. In fact, his lawyers have filed a notice of appeal at the Court of Appeal, and the date is here to be fixed. And it was on the back of that he said that the court should admit him to bail pending the determination of the matter or the appeal at the Court of Appeal. But unlucky for him, on Friday, the court did not accept his request. So it was rejected, meaning that he will still be in the Nsawam prison until such time that the Court of Appeal finds him.
Anyway.
So that's how it is. I think the last time we engaged the current Deputy Attorney General, he makes the point that accused persons who think that, they've made money from the state, and for that matter, they'll play it and go to jail. Then they'll come back and then spend the money. Should be thinking twice, because you will go to jail and the money too will be retrieved. Absolutely. So Lily, this is all we have for you by way of court today. What will come up today, I'm sure that by newsroom, we'll give you an update on some of the things that are happening in court today.
Captain. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lily.
Mutala Inusa with court today. Let's now look at what the newspapers are reporting this morning. Again with the nation's premier newspaper, the Daily Graphic. No cause for alarm over power, 450,000 barrels light crude oil in, Energy Minister assures. NACOC rallies cheese and drugs fight. And block Broom River within 5 days. MCE directs mining company. Coalition demands action against Akonta mine. That's it for the Daily Graphic. We now go to the custodian newspaper. Mohammed's brother fingered in Alamzy operation. Which of Mohammed's brothers? Baumia leads Africa's digital agenda at Cambridge. Sagnerigo MP opens classroom unit, launches scholarship scheme. Otumfo Anes Afechi Auno for outstanding leadership in energy and social sectors. That's it for the custodian newspaper. Daily Guide. CJ removal, Chikata, Vomao, sorry, represent petitioners. Kasongo, hey. Police nab robbery suspect in Togo 500 written submissions received. That's according to the CRC. Africa's digital future must be forged. That's according to Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. Major General Asma takes over UNDOF or UNIDOF. That's it for the Daily Guide. We'll move on to the Daily Searchline, which says Abaye is back. Brilliant Presec Legon student receives full scholarship from Academic City. 80% of men who get hypertension die early compared to 20% of women. That's according to a medical doctor. Ghana to get administrative capital, Accra Plains earmarked. That's according to the Ghanaian Times newspaper banner headline. Enterprise ranks among most fastest growing companies in Africa 2025. Times Needy Fund. Ghana Health Service confirms 3 cases of monkeypox. Move on to the new crusading guide. Ghana leads Africa in mobile money growth. That's according to Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. Otumfo said to 2 awards affect Awuno for outstanding leadership in energy and social. Nana Kumasa Kramaf. Okay, I don't know what name that is, but wages war against drugs as he gets new title. Ghana wins when we compete to perform. That's according to Gabi Otredako. Emmy nominated Yvonne Oji joins The Fisherman as executive producer. Ghana delegation joins Burkina Faso to honor Sankara with a memorial plaque and a statue, same at that particular event. We understand that a street has been named in honor of the late Jerry John Rawlins. The Chronicle says, Bawumia tells Cambridge Business Forum, Momo has changed Ghana's economy, has brought banking services to the unbanked. Government afraid of prosecuting Akonta mines. That's a question on the front page of the Chronicle. Pastor San charged over alleged 500,000 cities land fraud. There's a memory verse here, but I can't. It's not clear. I take a break here. When I return, my guests will join me for the breakfast review. Please stay tuned in. welcome back to the show. This is So GH today here on GH1 TV. I am Lily Mohammed. It's now time for the breakfast review. On the breakfast review this morning, my guests have joined me. Billa Alamzy is Member of Parliament for Chiana-Paga, and Dr. Dickson Adomako Kissi is former Member of Parliament for Anyaa, Sowutuom. Good morning, gentlemen. It's been a while.
Yes, good morning. And I'm happy to be here.
Good
Fantastic
to see you.
show.
Good to see you.
And you're looking splendid.
Thank you, thank you. Alamzy, this is my first time meeting you.
Yes.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
It's good to see you.
Though I've been here before.
Okay, but this is my first time
yes.
meeting you. That's good to know. But let's talk about an issue that we seem to have become a broken record when talking about it. Every year we talk about it. Anytime it rains, I mean, it's just different names that we record, different figures in terms of property destruction, but the same script when it comes to flooding. And government in, government out. We always channel funds into trying to tackle it. But what really are we missing? What are we not tackling right? Let me start with you, Doc.
Well, I'm doing this new campaign of depoliticizing some governmental institutions. And I think that NADMO is one of them. And I say this with the greatest of respect, that I really think that there are some national related issues that over the years we've politicized the departments, and because of that we never seriously tackle the issues.
Right.
Though NADMO falls under both sanitation ministry and somewhat interior ministry in terms of their response to issues, I think that it has to eventually be looked at separately, and
it has to be autonomous.
And it shouldn't be that every government comes and stocks NADMO with unprofessional people and necessarily just people who are, as it is, party faithfuls. And I think that considering the depth of professional work needed to attend to our perennial flooding issues, the earlier we unplug politics out of it, the better. I've seen videos of party faithfuls clamoring for the office, and it has its pluses. Some of the jobs, yes, you don't need a lot of deep skills, but hydro engineering or water engineering, if you've been to Netherlands, you can see the beauty of how a disaster or a seemingly troublesome problem can be changed into positives. We need very good storm drains. We need very good thinking about this. We're the same people lacking good water to drink, and it beats my mind that we're struggling to have quality clean water, and we're letting heavenly water just go by and wash into the sea. So I believe, and nothing against the NDC or the MPP per se, but I think that this perennial flooding needs very serious attention, and the earlier we unplug our natural disaster management from politics, the better. Agreeable. I mean, I think maybe the managerial levels to some extent can have a bit of coloration. I mean, it's expected when a party comes, the appointing authority may appoint a few people, but it so happens that especially now we are just wiping and replacing people who may have now gained experience in managing floods, and I also think that
Unfortunately, we seem to be always waiting for issues. So our responsiveness is not good.
Very reactive.
And I think that it is about time we still see planning in dry seasons towards flooding. We shouldn't always be waiting and literally losing property and life before. In my early years, I remember Alajo. And I always commend Kufuor's administration for what they did with regards to Alajo, where now, when it rains, the word Alajo is not even in the news. Yeah, it's not in the news. But I think that my constituency, for instance, my former constituency, let me put it that way, but I still live there.
So it's still your constituency?
Yes. We've had consistent issues with flood, and my pain is to watch heavy loads of water just washing the drains into the sea, where we could have made use of storing all of this water somewhere and then using it to, even water flowers and things like that. So I think we need to certainly think deeply and deplug our natural disaster from politics and also be more accountable to the people, because truth be told, world organizations have brought us money to manage our floods, and the question is that, listen, we need to be self-reliant. Are we always going to wait for the outside world to bring us money,
grants, loans,
and it is always not going to be enough? So as a country, I think that our allotment to our disasters need to be looked at. I would say that the program to decongest Greater Accra would also help to some extent, because of population leading to flooding, or the number of people.
So you support that move?
Listen, I've experienced California. They changed their capital over the years. So though they have the state, so we can have Accra as the capital, but over a 10-year period, government machines, everything moved to a different part of California. And it has helped really in terms of decongestion, and it has helped really in terms of real estate development and things like that. So I certainly see very serious sense in that, and only that I was hoping that it won't be. I'm hearing 3 different places. We need to be focused. It should be maybe one place, and then the commute there should be very good. I'm looking even beyond in somewhere like Suhum-ish. It should be kind of a bit far from Greater Accra, and those are my thinking, or if we extend Central Region, and it will help. It will help if deliberate actions are taken to, as it is, move some of the government administration away from Accra. I'm very much in support of that, so that we reduce the population in Accra. And urban migration changes strongly, so that and the same should be done even for other places. I'm not saying Tamale is so developed, but some things also in Tamale should be moved to other places strategically, so that we spread the country a bit more. And then Ashanti region too, the same thing should be done, a deliberate attempt to move some of the things in Kumasi
from the central business district.
Yes, so that the traffic will be eased, and people can also develop those other areas, which then will limit the young men who want to move into cities. Because if the city is coming to you, why
would you want to?
As Wuntumi said, we're bringing Dubai to Ghana. If you are bringing Dubai to Ghana, you have to go to Dubai. Yeah. So these are my thoughts about managing and our disasters and things like that. And then of course people who build in waterways, we need to be very firm and use the acts of justice to crush them. And those things need to be looked at. I'm praying that future locations will have well demarcated roads and things like that, so that we need to change. I mean, I weep when I see new areas still having the same problems of the old areas. I mean, in some places in Accra, if you're not careful, you drive into somebody's living room. Yes, because people are in roadways, and that should stop. Our engineers and planning or spatial planning people need to be funded well, so that they reduce these issues in the Adentes, just to name a few places, So those are my thoughts about flooding.
Okay, Alamzy.
Thank you very much. First of all, I wish to say good morning to your cherished listeners and the people of Chiana-Paga constituency. I wish to say good morning to them. I think we've always been reactive when it comes to flooding. We are supposed to be very proactive, but we are very reactive. And I admire the submission of a doctor, because he decided not to politicize it. This is the first time I'm seeing it. With NDC MPP, the government that is in power, when there's floods, they attribute everything to the government. But there should be a policy direction in terms of flooding, because now our infrastructure is so outmoded that we need to improve our infrastructure. And we are not so strict. Now you see that where water is supposed to pass, that is where somebody is struggling to put up a building. When you go to the social media space, you see somebody, as is flooding, that is where somebody has gotten free transportation for waste. You just come out and pour the waste, and the water will take it away. So I think there should be a policy statement on it, and we need to strengthen our drainage system. I can remember I went to Kissi to buy maize, the cooked one, and the gutters there were full of sand and rubbers. I told the woman that you are selling here. I wanted to buy the maize, but I'm not going to buy it again. You are government cannot do everything for us. So mostly our drainage is so choked, and nobody is doing anything about it. That is why I believe in those who are calling for us to decentralize our waste management system. When we give it to our youths that are coming up, I'm sure they will manage it better than the way we are managing it now.
How so?
Like, if they come, for instance, it's not only in the city that is flooding. I'm coming from a rural constituency, but it's flooded. When it rains, just because the cameras are not there to capture Accra, we are fortunate here, the cameras are everywhere, and it will always capture it. But even where I'm coming from, there are always floodings. And when it rains heavily, it floods. Are you getting me? So the fact is that when I say we need to decentralize, I'm saying that because of where I am coming from. When I say we need to decentralize our waste management system, is that somebody from Accra here is managing waste in my district. How possible will that be? Probably we know the Ghanaian worker. He will employ somebody there. But who is supervising that person to do the work? Definitely we have those that are managing, but the gutters are choked everywhere. I don't want to limit myself to Accra, but the whole of Ghana. When you get to Tamale, the same story. You get to Bolga, the same story. So there should be a policy direction whereby we will put the politics aside. This is what we need to do. This is the direction. We know that our infrastructure in terms of drainage is bad. How do we go about it? I think that is the way we should start. And now, the water that is flooding is wasting in a way, because can't we harvest the water and use it later? We can harvest water and use it later. Are we not those that are complaining of we not getting water to use? This is water that is running. Where is it going? At the end, it will end up at the sea. And can we use it again? No, we cannot use it. So I think we should depoliticize it. I agree with him. NADMO is always very reactive because they've never given us warnings that maybe this will happen. They always wait after the damage has been done. Then they run in to give mattresses, give rice, give caps. That won't solve our problem. And I agree with Doc that, you see, let's depoliticize it. Let's make sure that we give NADMO to experts who can manage it very well. Today, if MPP, those that are managing it today, if NDC leaves power, because NDC cannot be in power forever, though we are praying to be there for like 40 years before you come.
No problem.
I like the no problem.
If we cannot be in power forever, the moment we leave, whoever is leading NADMO will go home. Somebody different will come. Even if they bring an expert and that person is not a party member, people will call for him to be withdrawn. So I think
him or her.
Sorry, but I'm using him for both. In the military, when they say man, it means everybody. So they will be calling for him or her to be removed. So I think there should be a policy direction in us deliberately seeing the way forward, looking into the future and making provisions for it.
Is that something the NDC administration currently will embrace? Because when everybody comes in, they have their own policy direction.
Yes.
They come with a manifesto. They seem to want to implement everything in their manifesto.
Yes. There's no government that wouldn't want. God, for now, as the situation that we are having at hand now, NDC is more. We are hot than MPP.
How, in terms of?
You know our political system. The blame will come to us. Are you getting me? Though we've been in power for just barely 4 months, but whether we like it or not, we have to accept it because we are in power. So I only pray that we NDC, though we are committed to making sure that at least, even if we have the strength, we will be willing and accept that, and pray that flooding shouldn't occur at all for the next 4 years or forever. All the governments, just that the attitude of our people, because you can put up all the nice drainage system, but still the people, will they abide by, that is why I said, example, that source of video, water is running, then somebody is also pouring something there, waste there. It's about the way we manage our waste. So every government, not ADC alone, every government will do its part. But it is left with we, the people in the country, we the citizens, to also do our part.
Okay. So you have any rebuttals?
Oh no,
So let's talk about the appreciation of the cedi against the dollar, or the depreciation of the dollar, as people will call it. Some consumers are calling for price reduction, and some traders say, well, we already purchased these goods before the dollar came down, so there is no way we'll be able to reduce the prices. Are the calls by consumers legitimate?
Well, this is a very interesting topic, but let me maybe start off with how we've arrived here, and the fact that it is a bit too early to be celebrating necessarily the gains.
Why? Why shouldn't we?
We should celebrate, but it's a bit too early. Okay. In the sense that, one, government hasn't started spending.
Okay.
The municipal and district heads are now being confirmed. And when the local government starts spending, government needs go up. Many of the governmental programs that the MPP had have been put on hold. And as to whether the various ministries will reactivate them, I don't know. Sometimes they may put them on hold for a year or so, which then would impact government's expenditure in its entirety. So that is one key thing. Now, the external factors, as it is, the many countries who are gaining against the dollar because of Donald Trump's behavior with regards to tariffs will be short-lived. I think China just, got another arrangement with USA in terms of their trade war, which may then make the dollar gain value a little bit. So that should be looked at carefully, and I think that may impact the strength of the dollar in the next foreseeable 3 to 4 weeks. Besides that, our exports haven't improved so much that we can attribute the strength of the Cedi to export of maize or export of cocoa. So I really think that yes, our pricing in this country though not well structured, not well modeled, because many traders, when fuel prices go up, within a second they increase their prices with no regard to even forex exchange. And the truth is that until recently, OPEC had not dropped oil prices, and fuel prices were a bit high. So what I think we should expect is that hopefully when fuel prices drop, not necessarily forex exchange, then traders will do the rightful thing of dropping their prices a bit. And they must admit that they buy and sell. And what they are now going to buy would be at a lower price. And invariably, if expiration dates are something to go by, they need to be very wary, especially those who are doing perishable goods, of the fact that you lose out hoarding or keeping your produce at a very high price. So I think that one, we need to make sense of how the dollar worldwide is losing strength, and the fact that the Cedi has made gains a little bit because of that. And then admittedly, one thing that is very interesting for me is the fact that gold was a no-no for the NDC at some point, when we were touting the fact that when your gold reserves are more, your currency is strengthened, to the extent that we wanted to do oil for gold. And all of these things seemed like gymnastics or crazy ideas to the NDC when they were in opposition. But now the preachers or apostles who are not for gold being reserved are now in cassock and preaching that gold is king. And the likes of Sami Jemfi, Okujato Ablakwa, who were preaching that we should call for a state of emergency, and that that is the only way to fight Alamzy. Suddenly, now they are ambassadors of continuing with our mining, which strikes me as a very interesting change in posture. And I don't know if they drank what Baumia was drinking now, to the extent that now the NDC values gold and as it is now gold barons. Let me put it that way, for lack of a better word. The NDC has now become the ambassador extraordinaire when it comes to more mining. When I see Okujato in person, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, I'll ask him that. Now it's just
Ministry for Foreign Affairs.
Foreign Affairs. I'll ask him that what has changed? Has the literature in the textbooks changed, or is it that now that he's truly at the helm of affairs, he's realizing that our gold reserves is important for our money's strength. Very interesting. So I think that yes, though we are asking for price reduction, we need to be aware of the factors that have contributed, and the fact that if those factors are changing, it might be short-lived. It might be short-lived. We had dollar at 12.5 at some point, and people were saying that it was because of Christmas. People were giving all kinds of excuses in opposition, and now that we are 13, I wouldn't say that it's extraordinary, but it's good. And you know, if the dollar goes down...
Do you foresee it coming down further?
Well, once they start spending, I don't think we can go beyond 10. I mean, in my wildest imagination, if we go beyond 10, we'll suffer in other places in terms of our debt payments, you know, which they cannot put on hold forever. But I would admit that whether we like it or not, the NDC told us in our face in 2017 that the dollar behavior was largely due to their work in 2016. So I would repeat that to them, that today's dollar, you know, Ghana Cedi dollar relations cannot be as it is
disassociated from the workings.
Disassociated from our workings and the gold that we kept that they've now sold. You know, which also begs another total question, you know. But be it as it may, they need to now be very truthful to Ghanaians that they lied to us with regards to pushing heavily, demonstrating heavily that we should call for a state of emergency. I think that Nana...
Do you think we at this moment we need a state of emergency?
I was never in support of it, and I'm not in support of it today. Because, you know, I rather think that a lot more investment needs to be put into mining. That is what God gave us. If we had other minerals, I'll talk different. But what you have is what competitive advantage. That's rule number one in economics. What you have that you can produce well, you do well, so that you can have a place in the world market. So I'm of the opinion that far more investment needs to be put into mining so that the appropriate technologies are being used. A lot of the young guys doing the illegal mining are literally damaging the earth and taking or extracting very little. If there's proper partnership, these very brave young men can be rather employed, and whatever monies they are getting from their you know, corrupt bosses, government should be able to provide that and guide them to do it in a very safe manner. I weep when I see their outfit that they work with, the kind of gear they work with, the kind of damage they are doing, which can be done in a very fine way. The truth of the matter is that for 1 acre, if you use appropriate technical knowledge, you may get 80% of your minerals. Right. If you mine the way that these legal miners are doing, sometimes they move away with 15%, go elsewhere and damage more. Whilst they could have stayed in that 1 acreage and gotten 80% of the minerals from that same area. So certainly, you know, we always say Apritech, but I want to preach that if we engage them with appropriate technology and appropriate gear, they can extract better, and we all win. If our mining industry...
So then we shouldn't prosecute them. You also don't support the whole shoot to kill approach?
As for shoot to kill, is a no-no. I mean, you know, I think that there are many ways of enforcement that needs to be planned out and rolled out.
But now these people are using armed men. They're using weapons.
This is our drug war. And Mexico is dealing with drug wars. Mining is our drug war. First of all, I think there are many foreigners involved, and for that matter, that needs to be looked at in terms of our immigration aspect. so that we don't encourage, people from our neighboring countries to take charge of our land. I think that foreigners cannot and should not take charge of our land and milk us and take away, our bit. I saw 3 Indians arrested, I think, last 2 weeks or so. That is not enough, in fact, it is the tip of the iceberg.
Okay.
There are many, UAE-related incidents that I would prefer not to share here, but I really think that, the way and manner our foreigners are taking hold of some of these things, and more importantly, some of the water body damages are from neighboring countries, boys from neighboring countries. So our checks at the borders need to be strengthened. And then repeatedly, I have to say this no more than once, that if we even, as it is, help transform these boys, it will help us as a nation. There are many illegal activities happening, not just the mining, but in terms of drugs usage, prostitution, and human trafficking associated with mining, which needs to be carefully investigated and looked at. Where are they getting these guns from? Do these guns fly out by drones to the country?
No.
Or how do they land? And how does it move from our port to them? I mean, I'm struggling to get even an ordinary pistol. I mean, so how do they get these pump actions? When very good citizens cannot even get a pistol, how are these guys getting pump action?
And some are manufacturing them themselves, to the extent that we have students who have access to locally manufactured pistols.
Yeah, so clearly, the illegal mining industry, as we'll call it, is quite huge and needs serious attention. And admittedly, we need a very powerful task force, which is like the, in the US, they have this drug enforcement agency, which is the DEA, which handles drugs specifically. And they are paid well so that they are not, as it is, compromised. If you take ordinary police or military salary to go and fight Alamzy, what you get in a month, they'll pay you in a day. And you'll be compromised. I mean, that is the fact. I beg, and I'm sorry that I'm putting this out there, but we're all human beings. What I'm getting in a month, if I go to the Alamzy site and they give it to me in one day, I'll go away and I won't come back the entire month because I've been paid and I'm compromised. But if we have a unit specifically for illegal mining, and they are paid well and trained well so that they are not compromised. And mind you, those in the DEAs, they have other people policing them. So if you are a mining enforcement person, when you get home, all your money, somebody is also monitoring you. So you know that if you go off the grid, and they see you've changed your car, you've changed your house, you have monies coming into your account, I mean, you're out.
Does it then suppose that we're not tackling this as an emergency?
It is an emergency, but the approach needs to be very well thought through. And we shouldn't dance around this issue. I heard the NEC during their mini protest, but now they are singing a different song. And I want to look at this from a nationalistic standpoint, that now, what was that song? Now you know, now they know that when you're in government, it's a very huge thing. If you cap, in fact, when Nanado stopped and put a ban on mining, that's when we exported more gold. I mean, that's a conundrum. When he took that bold step to stop, that is when we saw more exports. So that means that will not necessarily be the way to go. So I wish them well, but certainly what they said in opposition is different from what they are doing now, because reality has set in for the NDC, and I think that gold certainly is connected to our Cedi valuation, and all of us have to be mindful of that, and encourage government to invest more, and I also demand of government from an EPA standpoint, environmental protection standpoint, that all gold industrialists need to pay heavily for our water recycling needs in this country. If you go to Western region right now, they are drinking clay as it is. If you go to even the Chibis, Okoforidia, the water, Ghana Water Services, you see the sludge that they are having to purify for human beings to drink is unacceptable. So as it stands now, from an environmentalist standpoint, I think maybe I should find money and sue government with regards to not protecting our water bodies. Maybe they'll take us serious, and if I have some very well-equipped lawyers like those going up against the CJ, then certainly I may win the case. To end, I think...
So you think the people going against the CJ will win the case?
No, they have colored the problem now as an NDC MPP thing, because anything that Chikata is in, or
Thaddeus, sorry.
Thaddeus, the other one, Komovo or something like that.
Vomawo.
I mean, it's colored as NDC, which then tops up what Mohammed said during campaign, that whether guilty as charged or innocent, he is coming to remove the CJ. So they rubber stamped this preconceived idea to remove the CJ by putting this old gun, Chikata, there to come and prosecute this. And let me just say this on air. It's about time our old people allow the young ones to also shine. I mean, Chikata has been in law court for decades.
But this is a petitioner going to a lawyer to say, come and represent.
No. My point. You have a right as a lawyer to say that, you know what, this is my chamber. Let Billa now go and handle this, so that you let our youth also work. The law certainly hasn't changed over the years, and yes, you gain more experience as you work. But I really think that, and listen, I had the same thing about Professor Michael Okwe, within the MPP. I'm like, listen, forgive me, we respect you, but there comes a point in time that these names have to stay in the back and groom the young ones. You understand? And with the greatest of respect to Chikata, I woke up from my mother's room hearing his name, and this man is still in court. I mean, this is not an NDC issue. I think that some of our old ones, listen, and that's how this country can grow. They don't allow the youth to work, and they're holding, the line and not allowing us. And mind you, some of these old guys even have, as it is, a little bit of dementia and things like that. I've been with very old lawyers. My uncle Justice Omari Sesu, just before retirement, I could tell that, listen, he should have retired a little earlier, because naturally some of them become forgetful and things like that. So nothing against Chikata. I'm just picking on him, and even Michael Okwe, that they need to allow some young faces to also shine. Under this republic, the NDC should watch it. It was one of the problems of the MPP. The apathy in the youth was because the same names kept showing up we said that President was not reshuffling, bringing fresh faces, and I would hope that the NDC takes a cue from that.
Okay.
The young guys, we are getting a bit, unsettled. We've learned the law. I'm not saying I have learned the law. We've learned the thing. So they have to walk us through and be in the background. So it would have been nice to see, the venerable Chachukata say that, oh, listen, I admire this opportunity, but let us hand this privilege to another young lawyer so that we also bring him up to my level in the future. And it will be in the interest of the party. I'm not talking for NDC, but I'm only telling them what we did that really impacted us. We kept going to town with the same faces, without reshuffling them. In our government, we had the Abuakwatas, we had the former Agri Minister Osaya Kuto. I mean, these were people that we felt that, they've done well, but they had to just stay away small, then fresh faces. It would have even done the trick. And even if we performed as low as we did, it would not have been as bad.
Okay.
Yeah. So these are my thoughts. Right. Sorry for bringing the CJ matter in.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Alamzy.
Thank you very much. You realize when Doc started, I picked a book and started writing because I knew very well. I've been listening to him, so I knew he would go round. If I don't take time, I'll forget most of the things. So I decided to jot everything down.
Okay.
I like one thing about Doc, and that is sometimes he sees it as it is. But I want to disagree with him on the aspect of the dollar depreciation and the reflection of it in the market. You realize that the other day, Minister of Trade engaged some major importers.
Okay.
And it yielded positive commitment. They promised that they will reduce prices. They gave, a businessman sometimes is self-centered in a way, because if it were to be that the dollar was at a pace, a very strong pace and appreciating, they would have been increasing prices every day. But when minister met them, the argument they brought was that they bought their goods, or they brought in their goods earlier before the depreciation. And they are trying to see if they can take the old stock out so that they can now reduce prices. They even gave us, they said maybe 2 months. 2 months.
Yeah.
They will start reducing prices. It is unfair to the consumer, but let's accept it that way, because in Ghana, we don't control prices. So we are still ready to do with the 60 days. I understand them because in a way, because the exchange rate as at then, now if they change or if they reduce prices, they might be able to buy a dollar more. But the fact that the Cedi that they use to buy in the dollar, the money might not be up to the same amount. So the businessman always wants to make profit. So I understand where they are coming from. And if you realize, Association of Ghana Industries and GUTA, they admitted that the Cedi is stabilized in a way for them now. They are happy with it, and they will make sure that they will do whatever it takes so that prices will go down. Notwithstanding, some importers, they've even reduced their prices. Not all of them though, but some have decided to reduce. And I'm happy because some decided that, okay, for me, I'll reduce my prices. You know, we are in a competitive market in Ghana. And definitely, once I reduce my prices and you fail to reduce your prices, the consumer is always looking for a better bargain. Absolutely. So the consumers will come to me. If you realize they are not buying your product, you will be compelled to reduce your prices. So I think so far so good. Bank of Ghana is also helping. I want to talk about it, then I'll come to some issues that my senior doctor raised. Initial this month, the dollar was around 15.53. As at last week, it came to 13.09. That is where you are buying. But when we are selling, it is 15.55 and 13 from 15.55 to 13.10. That is when we are selling. That is the reduction so far. So I want to say that the Cedi is not appreciating just because of the crisis that the dollar is facing alone. I admit it is part. I admit it is part. Today like this, our neighbors, Burkina Faso, the CFA is just depreciating very fast against the Cedi. Are they also having a problem
against their CFA?
Yes, against the CFA.
Well, you know,
and the Cedi is appreciating against major currencies. It's not only the dollar. Yeah. It's not only the dollar.
Well, the trade war is global.
Yes, but are we not part of the globe? Ghana,
I'm saying the trade war is global.
Yes.
So those major currencies, yes. America is importing less from China.
Yes.
And as it is using less dollars.
Yes. I mean, okay. Look, so. I when I finish, you will appreciate it. Sure. Even you realize that last week Bloomberg said Ghana,
the Ghanaian cedi is the best performing.
Is the best performing currency in the world. And it's last week.
That's what Bloomberg said.
That's what Bloomberg said. So there are factors that is making the Cedi strong. I will come to that. And government is creating, I still want to be in the market before I come to that. The government is creating a very supportive environment for businesses to grow. And we will make sure that the timeline that our importers and Guta they've given to us, the 60 days when it elapses, we will make sure and do a follow-up. Make sure that prices will definitely go down for all of us to enjoy, so that we can have a better market once we have a better local currency. So I think we only hope that the Cedi will keep doing well. And Doc mentioned that what was your listing? Too early for us to celebrate.
Absolutely.
Yes. You see, there are factors that is just helping us, which you claim you don't know. Government using it to buy oil, the Cedi would have gone down. Today, you realize that from January to April, we've been able to sell gold out and making $2.7 billion.
Cushion
dollars.
All of us.
Yes, to cushion all of us. Which, if you compare it to 2023, we were able to raise only $620 million the whole year. But with gold board, even 2024, we were able to do a little above 800 million. And with gold board now, we are planning, and that is, we are anticipating that we will bring in $1 billion every month. Yes, from gold board, which will cushion the system. So that is why there's that mad rush of people taking their dollar out. That is what is helping the Cedi to appreciate more, because everybody is rushing, anticipating that the Cedi will go down more. If you refuse to bring your dollar out for 13 cedis, you will come and change it for 8 cedis.
Really?
Yes.
That's where we're going to?
That's where we are going to.
Okay. So, and how soon is this? 8 cedis, the 8 cedi projection. How soon are we getting to this?
I'm not projecting
you let government start spending.
I'm just making a statement.
Okay.
No, that is why I'm coming to the spending aspect. We all agree that it is a fact that when government starts spending, especially the problem we have is paying our contractors in dollars. I don't know what we are doing to this country.
Okay.
Why can't we pay them in Cedi? There should be a policy direction for us to pay every contractor in Cedi, so that at least the Cedi will be able to be stable for a very long time. And that is what we are aiming to do. So I want to tell my senior brother that we are anticipating that the Cedi will appreciate even more. I don't know where we are sending it to, but I know we will get somewhere. And we will stabilize it at that point.
10 cities? 9 cities? 11 cities?
We are more ambitious. We are trying to go down.
Like 5 cities?
If we get 5 cities, we will appreciate. It won't be
That's
easy.
Very ambitious.
Let's be practical.
Yes, I said it won't be easy.
Even the 8.
Yes,
it's not going to be easy.
No, but that's why I told her that the 8 is a statement that I'm making. But when we get it to be 8, won't you like it? It will be better for all of us.
Ghanaians.
Yes. So
that one, I'll go to Atufos and buy him kinky myself.
Like you celebrated with a kinky party.
I'll buy him kinky.
That is the E-levy. The fact is that he talked about local government not spending. I totally agree with him. When we start spending, there will be pressure on the Cedi. But I want to assure Ghanaians that we are anticipating to make $1 billion every month for Ghana through Gold Board. And if we are able to go with it, definitely the dollar will always depreciate against the Cedi, because they will always bring in a dollar, and the dollar will be chasing the Cedi. The Cedi will not be chasing the dollar. And when we are able to do that, definitely the Cedi will be stable. And imagine from 7th January to April that we are able to bring in 2.7 billion. Definitely getting 1 billion out, because that is the starting, and everything that you are starting, there will be leakages. We accept that. But going forward, we'll make sure that we'll block all those leakages, and it will bring in dollars more for the Cedi to be very stable. For the CJ matter, I don't want to go there because it's still in court. And I don't know.
I was talking about the representatives.
Yes.
And the fact that the 3 lawyers representing the petitioner has colored the whole thing politically too much.
Yes.
He should have gone for non-NDC known lawyers. And that is my only point. So then, it now almost makes it seem like the petitioners are not by themselves, of themselves. But now the NDC fraternity have taken on the petition as their bona fide property. And that is not good for democracy. And I'm hoping that Chachuketa would state categorically that the independence of the judiciary, I'm not about the woman, not at all. But the independence of the judiciary is very important and should be preserved and respected. And for that matter, in the future, any president can come. And you see, let me say this with the greatest of respect to all the institutions. We might have a fool running as president one day. Forgive me. And Ghana's safety will depend on the 2 other branches of government, which is Parliament and the judiciary. And should we run into this precedent that we are setting? I'm not saying, please hear me out. That president, when he comes, when he says that he's moving the CJ, and it will not favor Ghana, he'll do it because there's a precedent. And that is where I worry. Trust me, it is not about the woman, but the position of Chief Justice to remove that person. It is not also Electoral Commissioner. Electoral Commissioner is not a branch of government. EC is not a branch of government. So I worry because of the seemingly disregard for the fact that this woman made you president necessarily. If you think about it, she swore him in as president because that arm of government is powerful. And by the duties bestowed on that office, she had no other opportunity, nothing else to do than to swear President Mahama into office.
You've said it all.
So my point is that, just as Otumfuo cannot just take any chief off, there should be merit. And in a way, it's double jeopardy because the same petition under one president felt that it didn't hold water.
But how do you know if it's the same position?
In total sum, and what even kills me the most, some have said that this woman should be, crucified for a crime that was not committed, in the sense that she recommended that the justices' number be, increased. And the NDC, the likes of Mutala, were screaming that this country has enough judicial people on the bench. Now,
should we as a country come to the era where we put a cap on it? Because many argue that it's a limitation.
I agree with the cap, but my point is that, even without finishing this case, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has, brought about 7 names, powerful names, accepted.
The Constitution allows?
No. Listen, my point is that we are holding this woman's neck about making recommendations about 5. That was not even, prosecuted, because in the 8th Parliament, the NDC stalled it, and they did that nicely as a political party, and made a strong case that the Supreme Court, the numbers were enough.
No, don't worry, I'll give you back the time.
You get your time, don't worry. Kachaki, don't change. There's enough. The 9 is good. Don't add 5. And today, we're adding 7. What has changed? What has changed? So I really think that, sometimes we're too...
Like you said, now you know.
Yes. Now they're in power and they are doing these things. But I think I'm screaming here because one day or soon it will become the norm that when you have a president, he nominates parliament. Because the president nominated this current man we have.
Bafaboni?
No. I'm talking about Parliament.
Speaker.
Speaker of Parliament, Alan Bagbin. Now, NDC worked with Georgina Wood. What has changed? When Kufuor put Georgina Wood there as CJ, I believe, they worked with her because the institution is independent of Parliament, independent of the executive. We are doing something wrong to our democracy.
Let me give him back his time.
You have it back. Sorry.
Thank you very much. He has taken all my time.
Don't worry, I'll give you that time. Don't worry.
You see, what he said earlier, I side with him. I believe, and what I'm praying for is that even in the constitutional review that we are trying to go through, I always pray that the 3 arms of government should be made very independent. That is strict separation of powers. I believe in that. I don't believe in president picking CJ for us and president being able to interfere in parliament. I don't even believe in it. Even in parliament, I prefer that the constitutional review, they should do strict separation of powers so that when you are a parliamentarian, you are in to perform your work. You cannot be a parliamentarian and be a minister at the same time. The executive should be separated totally from parliament. The judiciary should be separated from... For instance, there is just out there that parliament makes laws. Parliament don't make laws. Because parliament makes laws and the judiciary is having the power to review it. So we can sit there and make laws. But the judiciary can decide that after going through the stress and enacting the law, then the judiciary will say, no, we don't think this should be a good law. Then they take it off. So to me, I prefer strict separation of powers so that government, the executive will be very independent from the other 2 arms of government. Parliament will be very independent. Judiciary will be... You see, we brought... you said Mama brought how many? 7. Akufo-Addo brought how many?
We're talking about the woman...
No, I'm coming. No, I'm coming.
Over his entire period.
Yes.
Oh, this is 4 months into government, so I don't know. I don't know
So
now that we're starting with 7.
That is it.
Yeah.
So I pray that those that are being given the opportunity to review the constitution will go that direction for all of us to be free of these things, because it is true that what will we have tomorrow if somebody comes and decides to change and bring people that cannot even do anything for us? So I only pray that they will consider it, so that strict separation of powers will be there, like it's happening in America. Once you are a parliamentarian, you are a parliamentarian. You cannot interfere with the judiciary. You cannot interfere with the executive. For now, we have parliamentarians that are ministers. You are my senior.
Or Attorney General.
Yes. Are you sure? Are you sure they will be able to fully perform their parliamentary duties?
Not to the best of my knowledge.
That is it.
They'll be compromised at some point in time.
So, strict separation of powers will solve it. I side with you in a way, and in a way I don't agree with you. But
checks and balance.
Yes, checks and balances. That is what I'm talking about. You talked about. I want to go back to where you said you don't know whether we drank.
That's what the water you've drank.
No, we drank what
you have drunk it.
What Bomia used to.
You
drink.
have drunk it.
If
you are here telling me you want to realize $1 billion.
If we should,
you've drunk it.
If we should drink the same water,
you have,
or the same liquid.
Or now you are preaching like.
When we drink the same liquid, dollar will be around 17 Ghana cedis. Dollar will definitely be around 17 Ghana cedis.
That's a good one.
And the economy will be so scattered that we will not be able to.
That's an unfair statement.
Okay. I withdraw it.
Thank you.
I withdraw it, but the economy will not.
I'm playing host small.
Will not be in good shape. You accept that one?
Well, that's a subject for, his own interpretation.
Yes.
But please go ahead. Are you done?
Yes.
Okay.
On GH1.
Okay. Is there something you want to rebut, or we can go on and talk about the energy sector issues?
Oh, the light off season. I think that's a very dear topic, and I think I somehow what is becoming very clear to me as an ordinary Ghanaian is the fact that we certainly have problems with our energy management in this country, and the way and manner the NDC spoke about electricity, I was hoping, and I still do hope. I'm praying that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has always had a tag about Dumso. That tag, I am praying that the tag of Dumso on John Dramani Mahama will be removed, alienated, will not tarnish his image.
You made a point earlier when we talked about dollar. You mentioned that in 2017, the NDC said it was the doings of the NDC that stabilized the dollar when the NPP came into power.
That's what they said.
Is that not same that we're talking about?
Well, my point here is that the energy sector, admittedly, under the NPP, we had outages, but honestly, every Ghanaian knows that the outages pre-December are not the outages we're facing now. If the NDC administration was giving us even comparable outages, what I mean by that is that the way Matthew Opoko Prempeh was managing our energy crisis, it seemed that just with a changeover, we are appreciating or experiencing more Dumso than last year.
There are challenges that get problems in the energy sector.
If you are improving, you don't take us back and then bring us forward. I always ask the question. So are we saying that New York doesn't do maintenance? Are we saying that London, they don't do maintenance How come their light is always on? What is it about us alone that if there's maintenance, light doesn't stay on? It is sickening, and I think we need to solve that problem. But let's be mindful of the fact that for me, as a Ghanaian, if Dumso was 30% last year, under the current administration, the NDC, it is about double that, and that is why I worry. Okay. And me, I'm an average guy saying that it used to be that Mohammed nie, Dumso nie. I am praying that his second term, that Dumso tag or baggage on his back, I want it to be wiped off. And that is a challenge I'm throwing to Jinapo, because he talks too much now. He was talking in opposition. Now do the do. It is on upon
now
you.
he says we don't have any cost for alarm. We have about 450,000.
My lights are going off. Is that what you're telling me?
He says it just came in.
Oh. You've been in as ranking member, so you know the job. Right. So my only point I'm making is that don't talk to me. Give me light. And my point is that don't give me outages more than what I had last year. We've brought you to government to solve the problem. And listen, my whole point is that one team was doing it. You said, I can do it better. Now the better is, worse off. And that, I think, is scandalous. And well-meaning Ghanaians can even take him to court that he has sold us a black and white TV when we're enjoying colored TV. In as much as I may have had issues with my own administration, I must admit, this first 4 months of the Mohammed administration, I've had a few more equipments damaged because of this power fluctuations. I mean, let me blurt it out on TV that my ordinary air conditioners have not survived. I've had to change about 3 air conditioners within the past 2 weeks, simply because of this on and off outages. You see, so as it stands, my thing is that you knew there were problems. You told Ghanaians that you can do it better. We've given you the chance. Don't tell me that there are problems. You knew. It isn't like the NDC did not know there were problems. They knew. So the better that they were promising, we enjoy now. No. The doomsday is becoming a bit, and you see, yes, it's a Catholic idea. You are promising us 24-hour economy. How can we run even 16-hour economy with this? Even the 8-hour economy crowd, we're not seeing top because we don't have light. And that one, I don't hold Asudin Ketie's leg go. He was the one preaching that now they'll let the organizers work at night. Daytime, they want light. We know they get. Daytime. An ordinary hairdresser wants light for somebody's wedding, hair and all that. We are not getting. How we will get them nighttime. So in preaching 24-hour economy, I'm also here to preach 24-hour economy. And I'm saying that 24-hour economy will work if only Jinapo produces and maintains electricity. So it is one thing, give us light. Give us light. We want our light to be maintained. Don't give me worse than Napo did. We are demanding for. Okay, so you admit that Napo at some point. No, listen. We the MPP admittedly said. I mean, I remember Napo saying that this is doom CSA, which is doom with maintenance, and that one we were experiencing some level of outages. But this one, who has come and was preaching solution, now is rather dragging his feet. He should not drag his feet anymore. He should go bold. And one solution for the future of this country, we may have to marry energy and finance.
Why? Give me.
The Japanese have married health and finance, and you've seen the results. So if the finance minister is the energy minister, maybe his performance will be tied so much to energy performance in the country that he will make sure that wherever he has to find money to make light stay on, he'll do that. So that is just an outside thinking I'm giving this country. And for Ghana, who knows, maybe energy, health and finance, so at some point must always be at the table and sing one song. Because as it is now, I know Minister Jinapo is struggling largely because of finances, but he has to solve the problem. He said he would. He should.
Right.
And to conclude, it was Mahama Dumso that killed them in 2016. I don't want the same thing for 2028. Me, I don't want them to have that problem. So they should kill.
So you want to stay in opposition?
Listen, it's not about opposition. No. 2028, I don't wish to campaign on Dumso. But right now, it is appearing that they want us to rehash, recycle the 2016 narrative for 2028. And mind you, Mahama is not coming in 2028 anyways, I mean, by the constitution. And I don't see how even that can be changed. So my whole thing is that we should not, I am hoping that Dumso to Mahama should be wiped off.
Okay.
I'm hoping for that.
Okay.
I'm wishing you the best.
Alamzy, let me hear you on
Thank you very much.
the energy issues.
He said Muhammad will not be coming 2028. I might be coming.
Okay. Well, you never know.
That is on a lighter. It is so disheartening to be talking about our power situation now. And MPP, I don't know. You beat somebody and say the person shouldn't cry. When you were leaving power, you left us with only 5 hours of liquid fuel that you left us with. Imagine me coming to take power from you on this. It is only fair that you get some liquid fuel for us to keep the lights on. It is because we are very proactive. That is why we were even able to bring in liquid fuel.
Wow.
To generate power for this country. Meanwhile, you were told earlier, about 5 or 6 months before, that they were going to do maintenance with the gas pipelines. You begged for an extension that they should give you up to December for you to make liquid fuel ready so that they can go on with the maintenance. But you left us with 5 hours.
We want light, that's all we're asking.
Yes, but when it is us, you say it is Dumso. When it is you, you say it's Dumsie. You off my lights. I don't have lights. It's hours we off and go to the market. Or where do we go? We are also fixing CSA in it.
Okay.
Then that is it. It's neither here or there.
The other day I listened to the energy minister when he met with the committee on education. He stated it expressly that we urgently, or we are in need of about 1.1 billion to purchase liquid fuel. This is not small money. This is not small money at all. Yes.
Please allow him and note your points. Yeah.
To generate power and the existing fuel, as at the time he was making that statement, could only manage us for 3 days. So 3 days, and today is the 3rd day. But I can tell you that about 450,000 barrels of liquid fuel is in. If it were to be you, we will be CSAing this evening and the whole week. So the gentleman is so proactive, NDC is so proactive. We've been able to bring in fuel. For the Dumso, you won't experience it.
I'm praying for that.
You won't experience it at all. You won't experience it, and you won't get the chance to campaign on Dumso 2028. I only pray that you change.
We live to see.
I only pray.
Sorry.
Pray that you change your tactics. You shouldn't come in with Sisifiano campaign again, because that one you might even not get 20%. Because the way your party is going this time, you are not reorganizing. You are not reorganizing at all.
We're talking about energy.
If I'm sure this energy that we are talking about tomorrow or this evening, you organize press conference. If you are not petitioning, you are organizing press conference instead of reorganizing your party. I can tell you that you are a senior brother, but I will let this one out to you so that you send it to your party.
We should stop the press conference.
If you don't stop the press conferences and the petitionings, at the end of the day, 2028, your petitions and press conferences might be more than the number of votes you will get. Because we are handling this country very well. You should be a worthy opposition. Put us on our toes so that we can. But
are you saying then that press conferences are not a way to put you on your toes?
Press conferences, petitioning Sami Jemfi over dashing somebody money. Is that a work of opposition party? What is the crime?
You're bringing another matter.
No, I'm not bringing. I'm just setting examples.
Because it's not part. I don't want us to discuss it since you.
Okay, I will.
Let's come back to tackling the energy issues.
So for now,
especially for businesses.
Anyways, this car was very flashy. I must admit.
So what we will do is that we are going to make sure that was why he said that day, I'm quoting him expressly, he made it clear that we will involve the private sector in terms of revenue collection. So that, now we all is an open secret, and there is a maxim out there that what belongs to government belongs to nobody. Because of that, the officers that we even have at ECG there, those who do the collection of the revenues, those who go to monitor our meters, currently it's an open secret. They are the same people that are adjusting the meters. They are the same people that will go and see the illegal connection and take their share and go home. As you said, he will go, the pay is maybe 1,200. Then he goes to see a factory that they've done illegal connection and they give him 3,000. Opana will take the 3,000, walk away, and will not report. But when the private sector is involved, I am very sure that these leakages will be a thing of the past. And you see, our public institutions, I'm not a public officer, but our public institutions should be given prepaid meters.
Okay.
They are contributing more than any other person. Every public institution should be given a prepaid meter, except our hospitals and the senior secondary schools. For them, we cannot take lice from them. But every public institution should be on prepaid. If you don't have lice, you find a way to get lice. That day he stated it, that Water Ghana, for 7 months, they've not paid a penny. Meanwhile, when I don't pay a penny for your water, you come and cut me off. Why won't you pay? So, for me, all of them, Parliament, and every public institution should be on the prepaid meter. And there should be a policy direction on the revenue collection. For instance, all meters should be prepaid. They should not be postpaid. All meters should be hung on the pole, not on any wall. Because it is difficult for you to do illegal connection on the electricity pole than doing it when it is on the wall. So I think with this, it will help. And ECG officials that go to take revenue or that goes to check our meters, sometimes government can decide to be giving them police escort. Because they get to some areas, you will see the illegal connection. But who born you to go and cut or take off that light? You cannot do that. So I'm only praying that we will be able to assist them with the police so that every area they can enter and take lights off when there is illegal connection. The way forward also is that if we can diversify the energy source.
Okay.
That is.
How so?
Yes. No, I'm just giving the way forward, but the timelines will be with the minister.
You say we should diversify. That's what I'm asking. How
yes.
so?
Like we should go more into solar energy, wind power. Are you getting me? We have the sun up north. We can use solar to power up north because we have about 7 months of hot sun from November to May. It's just pure sun. We can diversify into that and make sure that we take pressure on ourselves. Are you getting me? So that is why I said the way we should diversify. Okay. And our infrastructure is, most of our infrastructure in the energy sector is so old that even itself, the infrastructure itself brings about leakages. We cannot store power. We cannot store power because of our old the infrastructure that we have. So I only pray that in that direction we should be proactive to put things in order. And
are these things? I mean, you are in Parliament, so you table it in Parliament.
Yes.
Are these things that you raise in Parliament?
Yes, definitely. Once I'm raising them here, when I get a chance in Parliament, I will, even with the minister, when I get a chance with him, I will definitely raise them. But I want to go back to I want to conclude with my senior brother. You see, NPP, for now, you are out of power. I just pray you accept it. For now.
You think they have not accepted?
They've not accepted yet. Okay. I don't know. Maybe the margin is making them not to believe.
But what makes you think they have not accepted?
They sit at the back and try to dictate to us. We said there's no doom so. We said there won't be doom so. And you are saying there will be doom so.
But when my light goes off and it comes back on, what is it called?
You see, we cannot be there and lights will not go off. Any government that is there, there are times you might be there. I don't know the cost of your lights going off, but the other day like this, I had lights off. When it rained, our pool, or where the transformer is, fell down. That one is not doom so. If somebody, I wouldn't have known. I called the ECG officer that is in charge around our area, and he told me that the pole is down. That one, somebody might sit somewhere and say it is doom so.
That's an isolated case.
Yes.
I am talking about cases where Ghanaians go back home, they get to the house and they don't have lights. Lights go off at certain points, comes back on. What is that called? Is that not called doom so?
No. That lights will go off, but it does not necessarily mean when lights go off.
So lights go off is normal?
It's not normal. It's not normal, but there are reasons.
Okay.
There might be a time that it is due to maintenance. That is why they've off the lights. Okay. Like my brothers would say.
So why not communicate it then?
Yeah, it is fair for it to be communicated. So I will also carry it on. I will inform minister. Nobody knows it all. Maybe it escaped us to communicate, but I can assure you that the lights will be on.
Okay.
And we are working on it. Before the end of the year, we will have a robust lighting system whereby lights will not go off again.
We are in May. You have how many months? 7 months?
For the 4 months, what we've been able to achieve, 7 months, we can achieve more.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'll hold you to your word. Thankfully, we're a company that keeps records. So you can always have a playback.
Definitely.
By 31st December.
Definitely.
We'll have a re-talk on the Doomso situation.
Definitely.
But I want us to briefly, we have just a few minutes to go. I want us to talk about the street begging situation that we have and the influx of a lot of immigrants.
I pray God will not take all the time.
No, I only have a few minutes to talk about this, so I just have allot 2 minutes each to you so that we can talk about it. I mean, the Interior Ministry says it's going to crack down. This is not the first time we're talking about this. Sometime in 2021, I remember the police was championing this, and we still have them in droves.
Yeah, I think it's a nuisance, and especially, even for tourism, It's bad to have these beggars on our streets.
Especially children.
Yes. So I'm happy that, and it shouldn't be just the Interior Ministry, Social and Gender Ministry has to also take this very serious. And let me add that some people also add people with health conditions on our roads, and that should also be stopped. It shouldn't be the place to put somebody who's not well in full regalia and solicit for funds. I think that also has to be stopped. And in concluding, a country's wellness depends on how they attend to the have-nots, or shall I say, those who are less privileged. So we'll be checking in terms of the SDGs how we manage our sick, how we manage those who are afflicted, and governance cannot certainly be for only those who can do by themselves. I know in the UKs and elsewhere where you have a child with Down syndrome or challenges, even the parents are fed bread and everything because of the child. And I'm hoping that someday Ghana will get there. We have children with cancer who are struggling. Parents are struggling to pay for their hospital bills. These are all things that we need to look at as a country so that we attend to those who are in need, and to say the least, those who cannot afford very basic things because of their either mental capacity or their socio-economic circumstances. And I wish we improve on our social services in this country. I'll rest my submission.
Alamzy.
Thank you very much. For the first time, Doc has been very brief. You know, anytime he starts talking, I start writing because I know I will forget some of the things. This is very unfortunate. I've always been somebody who advocated for a borderless West Africa. I'm somebody who is always advocating for free movement of goods and people. But it is disheartening for us to be taking our own brothers that are from our neighboring countries back to wherever they came from. But it is necessary because it has become nuisance to the public, and it's even criminal in a way because most of investors they go there. They are also investors because they go to our neighboring countries to bring children, to bring professional beggars to come and beg so that they will be taking the commission. Just last week there was a video out there. One woman around 6 o'clock, the children finished with everything and they were rendering accounts to her. The video went viral. It's very unfortunate for things of that nature to be happening. So even the criminal aspect of it demands that we take all of them away without considering about our free movement of people and goods. Imagine they rounded up about 2,241 people. Out of that number, more than half, 1,332 are classified as children. And they've sent almost 700 home. I'm only praying that Ghana Immigration Service, they will do a professional work, notwithstanding they have human rights. They still possess it. They should handle them very well. They should make sure they interrogate them, they screen them in terms of health-wise and where they are coming from. I'm praying that we will not go and repatriate, because in Ghana there's no law that allows you to repatriate or deport somebody that is a Ghanaian. But if they don't do due diligence, that means they might even take, because some of our people, Ghanaians, are there also begging. It is not only those that are from Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso that are here. So I'm praying that they will do due diligence and make sure that they don't take our children out there, because it is even not safe out there than here. So I pray that they will do a professional work so that they will make sure that we don't send our less privileged children who are Ghanaians to another country for them to suffer. But it is in the right direction. It is only fair for them to deport them because they've become nuisance to society. Thank you very much.
Thank you, two gentlemen. It's been great having you too. Thank you very much. That's Billa Alamzy. He's a member of parliament for Chiana-Paga, and Dr. Dickson Adomako Kissi. He's a member of parliament for Anyaa Sowutuom constituency. My name is Mohammed. I am back after this breather. Stay tuned in.
GH1 OB van has been one of the best vans I've used personally in this country. It runs a system where we are able to run on Dante to be able to do our broadcast mixed well also from this van.
I've used this OB van for quite a number of big productions, i.e. 3 music awards, the late President Rollis' state funeral, Emmys Africa Awards, and a number of them.
My experience with the GH1 van has been the state of the art equipment they have. Personal experience is you can use it for both indoor and outdoor, all events, conferencing, like anything you need a van to work for you, GH1 provides it. My experience with the van has been very good. Why? Because it has a number of facilities that I may not get in other vans. You know, the van has a very wide bench that can accommodate all my technical crew. ICC, switcher, graphics, CG, and all of that. And then it also has a studio, a green room studio that comes with TriCaster. So if you want somebody to do commentary on a live event, you can put that presenter or host in that studio as well and get that running. To give an experience to our audience, we're also watching on TVs and online. Work with an Exo technology system, which makes your video mixing with Panasonic cameras, like a lot of other stuff in terms of content you need to get also for your live broadcasts. I prefer the GH1 van to a lot of other vans I've used, or even doing my own setup on a tabletop setup. Because on a production you see a number of people in the van. And so if you have a very small van, it means that it's going to be choked, and that will affect the creativity as well. The price has been discounted as well to accommodate varied budgets. And so no matter the budget you have, I understand you can have the track and do business with it. It looks huge, but very affordable. Cost is really, really affordable. My experience with this EMI Awards last year, super excellent. Try it, call them, and I'm going to give you the best of price. Really affordable.
For the show, this is still GH Today here on GH1 TV. It's now time for Health Alert. On Health Alert this morning, I'm sure we all know that the month of May is Purple Month, and we get to talk about mental health. This morning, we talk about mental health in the workplace. How does your work affect your mental health, and how do you have to deal with it? My guest this morning is Dr. Imelda Asem Ahiable. She's a psychiatrist with the Accra Psychiatric Hospital. Good morning, Doc. How are you?
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm doing well. I can't complain. I'm here. But I love what I do, so hey, it's good to be here. Yeah. Let's talk about mental health, especially in the workplace. How does my work affect my mental health? Is it conditions of service? Is it the work environment itself, as in dealing with people, or is it workload?
Okay. So we have to understand that most of our waking hours in the day are spent for most of us at our workplaces. And even when you look at the definition of mental health, according to WHO, part of the definition says that it's your ability to learn well, work well, and contribute to society, as well as coping with stress. And all these things are things that revolve around our workplace. In terms of our workplace, I would say every part of your workplace affects your mental health. Like whether it's your work schedule, it's the people you are working with, your work environment, how much you are being paid, or what you are earning, if it's enough for you to survive, job security. All these things do affect your mental health. And you have to understand that first, not having any work to do also affects your mental health. But at the same time, working in a poor work environment also affects your mental health. So it's both ways. Whether you have work or you don't have work, it has an impact on how on your mental health as a person.
Do we have data corresponding to mental health related issues associated with work?
Oh yes, we do. Okay, so in Ghana we don't have a lot of data, but we know that so far we know that about 7% of Ghana's GDP is lost in terms of when people have mental health issues at the workplace. And some of the mental health issues at the workplace that people generally deal with is stress, which is like a very big one. And then the stress may come out of maybe your workload, your work schedules, or even your task at work can give you a particular type of stress. Like maybe the stress in someone who is working in an emergency room, the stress in someone who is doing journalism, so has to wake up at dawn and come to work. All those things are things that would affect the person's mental health. But apart from stress, we also have anxiety, especially if maybe you are being asked to do something, maybe a presentation. Some people have social anxiety, standing in front of people to express themselves. All these things are things that can be done. Some people also, unfortunately, may become depressed at the workplace. Lots of things could be the cause of that, like maybe if you don't have a supportive work environment, maybe a toxic work colleagues or a boss, or even if you don't have the tools to work, or if you feel like your work is not fulfilling enough, all these things can then contribute to you feeling sad and then ending up in depression. Even poor work-life balance. Maybe you are spending all your time at work, and the other part of your life is just been suffering. You are working from Monday to Sunday and it continues. All those things, they have a poor work-life balance, and definitely it's going to affect your mental health in the long run.
But is that not something that has become very common in Ghana?
Oh yes.
Where people work longer hours than spending time at home or with their families?
Yes, it has. And it's because first of all, even employment in Ghana is difficult. So even for you to have employment, it takes a while for some people to get employed. And once you get employed, a lot of employers don't prioritize like mental health, and so they tend to let's try and squeeze as much as they can from one person, and in doing so, you put the person at risk of mental health issues. And the problem is that as much as you are trying to squeeze as much as you can from one person, there's the potential that they may be present, but they may not be doing anything. So we have something called presenteeism. We also have something like absenteeism. The person is always calling in sick, and productivity in general is low. In fact, in Ghana, I say productivity is low. A lot of people are at work, but they are not actually being productive. They are not coming up with any innovative ideas. It's work as usual, low motivation, the morale is low. Everyone just, I want to come to work, clocking my hours and go home. So I mean, when you don't prioritize your mental health and rest in your workplace, what happens is that your workers will be there, but they are not actually doing anything for you.
What can I do if I'm somebody who's going through all these things that you've mentioned? What can I do to ensure that my mental health is at a better place?
So when it comes to mental health in the workplace, you take it in levels. So the individual, then the employers, so let's say the individual, and then the employers, and then the managers. So let's take it in that way. So for the individual itself, yourself, there are some things that you need to prioritize. Sometimes some things like time management skills. So you need to build time management skills for yourself. Prioritize the most important things. Okay, make sure when you have tasks, prioritize the most important things. Do what is important first. Set realistic goals for yourself. And then when you're unable to multitask in Ghana, they call you lazy. That's why a lot of people burden themselves with too much work at a time. Yes. So those are some of the narratives that we want to change, because also if you multitask in a way that you are not actually productive, then you are really not doing anything. So you are doing jack of all trades, you are master of none. And in the end, a lot of things, I mean, all the things you are doing, in the end, it suffers like as a huge result. So in the end, I think the most important thing is that you yourself know what you can do. As I said, in as much as you want to multitask, have a priority list of the ones which are most important, so that you don't find yourself focusing on the minute details while the big details are left undone. And at the same time too, you have to know how to delegate. And that is why even building good relationships in the workplace is important, because when it comes to the time to delegate, it's easier to ask people you have a good relationship with to take over some of your tasks than people that you are not talking to. So that is why it's good to build good team spirit, team spirit, and stop saying teamwork. That this person doesn't like me, this person yes. And there are more things in time management, but then let's move on to like stress management. So you as a person, you have to also prioritize your sleep. Sleep is very important. Many people just talk to me about the fact is that I hope I'll not write Menikum today. The fact is that when you don't sleep, your brain, when you sleep, your brain is able to recharge itself and clear, or your brain works like 24 hours. But in sleep, your brain is able to clear like all the waste products. And when you don't sleep well, it's just accumulating. You may not, if I don't sleep well tonight, I may feel like, oh, it's okay. But then if I don't sleep well for like a couple of days, it starts like having a toll on even my thinking, in the way my decision making, my mood, how easily irritable I get. So over time, poor sleep does affects your skin, affects your gut health in terms of your eating, can end up having constipation, all sorts of things, just because you don't sleep well. So sleep is for the weak, they say. Oh no, sleep is not for the weak. Sleep is not for the weak. Sleep, you need to prioritize sleep. And sometimes, even if let's say you Some people even sleep, but they still don't sleep well in terms of like their sleeping spaces. If you are sleeping on a bad mattress in a noisy place, the place is hot, all these things are things that is not going to help you have a good sleep in the long run. And you do need your sleep. It's actually been shown that if you don't sleep well, it's as much as drinking and driving. Yes, your brain functions are as reduced as somebody who has drunk and is driving if you are not sleeping well for a couple of days. So yes, sleep is very, very important. Yes.
How do bosses safeguard the mental health of the employees?
So, first of all, bosses or the employers are the first. When you are setting up your business, you are the one who drives the policy on what your employee mental health is going to be, even in terms of how you design the workspace, like how you put the chairs together. All those things are things that affect the mental health of your work, of your employers, and even their productivity. Another thing is in terms of policy, have a no tolerance policy for things like harassment, bullying. Try and talk in terms of stigma. Try and reduce the stigma about mental health. Have an open door policy where people can actually walk to you and tell you that I'm struggling with this particular thing. You see, mental health is not like a one and done thing. For everybody, your mental health can either be down or up at every point in time. So when your workers spend most of their time at your workplace, and if they cannot come to you and then tell you that I'm struggling with this thing, maybe I need support here, can I have this person help me here and there, it becomes a problem. Because as I said, you can be fine today in terms of your mental health, and then you can be having struggles tomorrow. So if you have a flexible workspace and you have a flexible relationship with your employees, they can then be able to open up to you when they need help. You also have to train your managers to spot people who are struggling with mental health problems, to spot people who are constantly absent or constantly seem to be having issues with organizing their tasks and doing things.
In Ghana, managers will call you lazy.
So that's what I'm saying, you have to train them. So it has been shown that once you train managers to identify mental health issues, that's like the first thing. Once they are trained and they can identify it, they are less likely to name things like someone who is struggling as lazy. But the thing is, if they don't know, then we have the problem where they start tagging people as this person is just lazy, but then there could be a deeper issue afoot. And if you don't want people to come to your workplace, learn and then run away in terms of always high turnover, you need to prioritize mental health in your workspace. You can have, even in terms of your insurance policies, mental health care is very expensive. So if you have a health insurance policy, you should have the health insurance people at least add some mental health components to their health insurance so that your people can access care whenever they need it. And there are a whole lot of things that managers can do in terms of helping the mental health in the workplace. Even feedback forms, have surveys from time to time, just anonymous surveys, know how like the mood in the workplaces, how is everybody feeling at this time. Whenever there's a difficult task that is, sometimes you can't, difficulties happen in workplace. Sometimes you can have maybe a lot of things to do at once. But even while you are doing that, make them know that you are with them, you are helping them, you are there to help them through the difficult things. And always make sure that you put people in the right place in terms of fitting people to their tasks. Not everybody is good at one thing, but when you fit somebody who is good at what they are, at where they are supposed to be, it then helps them. Also builds their confidence because they know that they can do it.
So it means if somebody is good in this area, make sure they are doing what they are good at. But then doesn't it also stifle the growth of the person, because maybe you are seeing something else that that person is not seeing?
Okay, so as I'm saying, I don't mean that like keep the person at just that place.
Okay,
but people are good at a certain thing. So when you see somebody who is good at a particular thing, let them do that and then build confidence. Then when they have built confidence in that area, you can add a bit more of the task.
Okay.
So as they are building confidence in one area, you keep adding on. So like it's like you are trying to grow the person. So if you want to grow a plant, you water it, you see, oh, the plant is doing well with water, let me add maybe some fertilizer and see how they do. You add the fertilizer, is doing well, that kind of thing. So you add as the person is growing. When you put too much tax on one person at once, they may have difficulty, but then have the mindset of growth in your colleagues or in your subordinates. Like, I'm trying to grow them into the best they can be.
What if, I mean, you're a manager and then you have subordinates who feel like, this particular thing, I can do it. But then as a manager, from the managerial eye, you think that person is not up there yet. But the person insists. What do you do?
Okay. So, I mean...
So, sometimes once you prevent the people, then it bruises them. Their confidence dies.
So that's why I said it's always important to have a good relationship. So honestly, I feel like relationship is one of those things that really solves a lot of problems. Once your workers know that I am not preventing you from doing this because I don't think you cannot, or I don't think that in future you can. I think you can do it in the future, but maybe right now I feel like you are not the best fit for this place, or maybe somebody else is ahead of you. Having these open conversations with your workers can help them know that, if they know you are a genuine and an open person, it's less likely for them to take offense in terms of like them feeling like you are not trying to help them. But if you don't have a good relationship with them, or they always have this suspicion about you, it then comes off like this person doesn't want to help me because they want to harm me or something. I mean, you cannot control everybody's perception of you, but at least in terms of letting them know that as a boss you are there for their good, and when they are ready you put them at the right place. I think it helps. So first of all, have a good relationship and let them know that you are genuinely for their good or their best. That is the first place we start from in having these type of very difficult conversations, because what you're talking about is a very difficult conversation.
Exactly. Because some subordinates will feel that, I deserve it. Why are others doing it and I am not allowed to do it? But maybe because you are the manager, you see beyond what that person is seeing. Think that person fits better in a different area. But that person also insists that this is where I think I can better function.
So, I mean, as I said, relationships, and then try as much as possible that whenever you are doing something, make it in such a way that everybody understands, and people do not feel like they are being discriminated against. When they feel like everybody got the same chance, it helps in general. Maybe the person feels discriminated against, but the thing is, when you explain yourself well for them to understand that this is what I'm doing and this is what I see, if I get to a point and I see that you can now handle the test, I'll give it to you. Having those, it's all about conversations. It's all about conversations.
So does it mean a manager must be soft in their approach to their subordinates?
No. So in terms of management skills, there are several types of management skills. I'm not going to pretend I'm an HR manager, but it's not about being soft, but it's about being genuine. And it's about letting them know that you are not like have a personal vendetta against them or anything like that, and that you're actually there for their good. When that baseline is there and that goodwill relationship is there, it then helps to build. It's not about being soft. I have a lot of people who are very firm, very strong managers, but they still have that genuineness. You know that the way the person treats Amma is the same way she treats Kofi. She's not going to make you feel like You understand what I'm saying? It's just the genuineness of the relationship, and that is what should be the baseline for when we are having all these conversations.
If we're recording a significant number of workplace mental health issues, some people will say that some managers were not groomed to be managers. They were people who had stayed in certain offices for long, and then their owners would think that, oh, because you've been here for long, then step up and become a manager. Doesn't it affect the overall well-being of employees?
Oh, it does. So, as I said, as an employer, you have to train your managers. Management is not only about you've gotten there, so then you should get it. Every manager should be trained in what they do, because what they do is managing people and managing tasks towards a particular goal. So important that every manager is trained and even trained, especially in mental health in workplace mental health issues, not only about the building a healthy work environment and building healthy relationship with your work people and to boost productivity, but also in terms of even the laws that govern mental health in the workplace. So in terms of just putting somebody there because they have gotten there, I mean, if they've gotten there, fine, but then have you also invested in taking them to a training program where they can learn all these things and then be effective in their managerial work? That's the most important thing. Even if they've gotten there, they still need like some top-up courses, something to help them be more effective as managers in the long run.
Your final words as we mark the Mental Health Awareness Week on the workplace, especially managers who do not allow people be themselves. Those of you are doing that, stop.
Okay, so in terms of as we've had this long conversation, because we spend almost all our time or a good portion of our time at our workplace, it's important that our employers and even we ourselves prioritize our own mental health. You can do things by in terms of yourself to improve your mental health, in terms of prioritizing your sleep, your exercise, good diet, and taking breaks when you need it, especially the paid breaks. Don't put your leave together and say, I want money instead of a leave. That is not the best approach to it. And also avoid things that negative coping skills like just breaking down, burnout, using alcohol or gambling or any other thing which is not helpful to cope with your stress. Look into more healthy stress coping mechanisms. Be ready to change, be ready to learn, to acquire new skills, be ready to adapt and be assertive and also keep the boundaries. And then for employers, train your managers to recognize people who are having problems with their mental health and also to provide the support that is needed. In addition to that, create an environment in your workplace where your workers can be comfortable enough to speak about, have open conversations about these issues. And then in general, we know that in Ghana we need a lot of productivity because we are catching up with a lot of things, but so when we prioritize the mental health of our workers, we know that we have better productivity, more innovative ideas, people who are on top form, who are coming up with lots of ideas, who are have good motivation, their morale is boosted, and with all these together, I think we can move forward.
All right, Doc, thank you very much. It's been insightful having you. So that's Dr. Imelda Anyaa. She's a psychiatrist at the Accra Psychiatric Hospital. Please, if you are a manager out there, I hope that this conversation has been helpful, and then you carry your subordinates along. Let's do some celebrations now. Away from celebrations, let's still stay in the health sector and talk about Mpox as Ghana is recording cases. We understand that we recorded 2 new cases of Mpox. We've been joined on Zoom by Dr. Caroline Randolph Emisa. She's Deputy Director General for the Ghana Health Service. We'll speak to her right after this breather. Stay tuned in. Welcome back to the show. This is still GH Today here on GH1 TV. My name is Lily Mohammed. Now, ZA Group is 100 years, producing paint since 1921. We created Savannah paint in both acrylic, emulsion and oil to give you great coverage at an unbeatable price. We all go paint some, that's what they say. Whether you're a beginner, amateur or professional painter, choose Savannah paint. It's everybody's paint. It is best value for your money. Paint more, pay less. Savannah paint. We all go paint some. Savannah paint too. For more information, contact us on 055 5333888 or visit www.azarchemicalindustries.com 055 5333888 or you can simply visit our website www.azarchemicalindustries.com. Now celebrate 40 years with us in our Star Assurance 40 Reasons to Smile promo from now till the end of the year. You could be one of our many lucky winners. You could walk away with a whopping prize of 10,000 cedis in quarterly draws and a grand prize trip to enjoy the luxury of Dubai. To participate, visit our online portal at customer.starassurance.com customer.starassurance.com or simply call us 0302 751 333 0302 751 333 to buy or renew your existing motor insurance policy, or you can also walk into any of our branches nationwide and show that you are a lucky winner today. Star Assurance, we are your solid partner. Please note that terms and conditions do apply. Now, Sankofa Natural Spices offers a range of packaging sizes to suit your needs. If you're cooking, don't worry. This is the good news that you need. We have things including 5 grams, 25 grams, 240 gram options. For those who say they don't eat spices, garlic, ginger, fomwisa, nkiti, and suwisa are all ingredients which has been ground and put into sachets for your convenience. So if you don't want to see the big chunks, don't worry, we have them in powdery form so that you can enjoy your spices in every meal that you cook. Find Sankofa Natural Spices in most supermarkets, corner shops and markets nationwide. For inquiries or bulk purchases, please call 055 560 3143 055 Life of the Kingdom of Kush. My guest is His Royal Highness Dr. Mansa Suleiman Al-Kushi. He's also written a book called Countrypreneur. He joins us via Zoom. Doc, thank you very much for joining us. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Lily.
I hope you're doing well, and it's good to have you.
Yeah.
First of all, let's talk about the Kush Empire. I know that many years ago it fell, but now it's being brought back. Tell us a bit about the Kush Empire and the need for us to embrace it.
Yes, thank you very much. The Kingdom of Kush, we know, is one of the greatest kingdom in the world, and specifically in Africa. And we saw what they did back then, and this kingdom not only is a great kingdom, but it's also is our identity. It's a kingdom that did great things in the past, then disappeared. So we came back to restore the same kingdom with its greatness and its identity.
Okay, so what's new? I mean, we knew about the Kingdom of Kush many years ago. The Kingdom of Kush, just around the time that now modern day Sudan was in form. What's different about this particular one?
The difference now is this kingdom now is transformed from kingdom to a sovereign nation. So it's a nation that is building now with African diaspora, the Nubians, the Kushites, the Ababda tribes, the African Americans, and other African diaspora, including Africans from the continents that transforming the same place now into a sovereign state. And there is a small little territory there called Birtawil. And Birtawil is a territory that is not, is being abandoned since the colonial era, since 1884, 1885 Berlin Conference. So no Sudan nor Egypt actually were interested in this particular location. So the international community decided to classify this particular piece of land as no man's land. So in the year 1993, a group of us from Wall Street here, and of course, African diaspora and local people, we get together on this territory, planted the flag, and proclaimed it as a new and sovereign nation.
Hello, Doc.
Yes.
Okay, I lost you there momentarily. But how many people are residing or living in the Kush Kingdom as we speak?
As we speak, our people are very nomadic. We have over 4,000 people living there, with about 7 million applicants who desire to obtain the Kingdom of Kush citizenship, and they start to apply for the passports. Of course, our passports start to travel to few African countries and some Asian countries so far. And we start to establish a local economy with the open market that is growing slowly but surely.
What kind of government do you have?
We have a constitutional monarchy.
Okay.
So because it was a kingdom and it's a restoration of the same kingdom, we decided to establish a constitutional monarchy.
Okay. So how you say that your passport allows you to travel to other countries. Do you have people frequenting the Kush Kingdom? And how do people apply to visit there?
Yes, we have people visiting the kingdom at the moment, and so far they go through either Egypt or through Sudan, and from there they go to visit the kingdom.
Now let's talk about your book, Countrypreneur. What inspired you to write this book, and what is this book about?
Yeah, Countrypreneurs was born with both frustrations and hope. Frustrations because as a people of African descent, when we see how our children being killed, dying in few oceans, and trying to cross oceans going to Europe or trying to go to even America, and the way they've been welcoming them and treating them, we are frustrated seeing that our children will live in this great continent and looking for a better opportunity somewhere where you see the same Western society will come to Africa looking for natural resources in Africa to better their lives. And that frustration, it seems like is never ended because the system that's supposed to be serving people is no longer serving them. And we also think that we should do something better. And hope is that we have a lot of people in the continent. And majority are young people, and we have this hope in them that young people with the intellect that they have, even though they lack of opportunities, is for us in the West to start bringing back this opportunity to the continent to be able to assist. We can't just sit in the West and doing nothing and keep blaming others. So we think we have some sort of responsibility to contribute also to the continent by bringing investment in and try to build a new business hub as we did here in the past. The African Americans in the past were able to build with nothing because they have themselves, they were able to build a place here called Greenwood in Tulsa, Oklahoma, called Wall Street. So it was very prosperous simply because they have themselves. It was very prosperous. The kingdom of Kush was very prosperous. And we see that anytime we come together as people, we are able to build together. And we have this hope that it will bring in a new and better alternatives and be able to create our own narratives. And the book Countrypreneur usually is a name that I invented because we have entrepreneurs, people who build enterprise and business. We call them entrepreneurs. But when it comes to people build a country, there's no name for it. So I name it Countrypreneur, and of course patented. And that's the meaning of that book.
Okay, but how do people get access to the book?
The book is now online. It's on Amazon. When they go to Amazon, they just type Countrypreneur, and they'll be able to acquire this book.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. I hope that I'll be able to visit the Kush Kingdom soon. That's Dr. Mansa Suleiman Al-Kushi. He is from the Kush Kingdom, and we've been talking about the Kush Kingdom. I'm sure that a lot of you who are tourism enthusiasts who want to visit that. That's it for the show. My name is Lily Mohammed. Thank you very much to all the people who make the show possible. I'll see you again at 11:30 a.m. Have a good morning.
GH1 OB van has been one of the best vans I've used personally in this country. It runs a system where we are able to run on Dante to be able to do our broadcast mixed well also from this van.
I've used this OB van for quite a number of big productions, i.e. 3 music awards, the late President Rollis' state funeral, Emmys Africa Awards, and a number of them.
My experience with the GH1 van has been the state of the art equipment they have. Personal experience is you can use it for both indoor and outdoor, all events, conferencing, like anything you need a van to work for you, GH1 provides it.
My experience with the van has been very good. Why? Because it has a number of facilities that I may not get in other vans. You know, the van has a very wide bench that can accommodate all my technical crew, ICC, switcher, graphics, CG, and all of that. And then it also has a studio, a green room studio that comes with TriCaster. So if you want somebody to do commentary on a live event, you can put that presenter who's in that studio as well and get that running.
To give an experience to our audience, we're also watching on TVs and online. Work with an Exo technology system, which makes your video mixing with Panasonic cameras, like a lot of other stuff in terms of content you need to get also for your live broadcasts.
I prefer the GH1 van to a lot of other vans I've used, or even doing my own setup on a tabletop setup. Because on a production, you see a number of people in the van. And so if you have a very small van, it means that it's going to be choked, and that will affect the creativity as well. The price has been discounted as well to accommodate varied budgets. And so no matter the budget you have, I understand you can have the truck and do business with it.
It looks huge, but very affordable. Cost is really, really affordable. My experience with this EMI Awards last year, super excellent. Try it, call them, and I'm going to give you the best of price. Really affordable.